there a watermelon there?
I'll tell you later.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the return of the Analytical Fanboys podcast. I am one of your hosts, Simeon Scott, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, the amazing Chris Gaston. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I got popcorn.
Okay. Yeah, we literally just spent a whole ass hour catching up because we just had what was it, like a 2-month hiatus to go and work on personal video shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got about the same amount of work done, but because I'm stockpiling shit, you're not seeing any of it.
Yeah, hey, if by some odd chance you watch this channel but you don't watch mine, we did actually get free new subscribers because I plugged the channel in my latest video.
Yeah.
But if by some odd chance you fit into that extreme minority, go look at my channel. I've got 2 new videos up. Shameless plug. Anyways, since the amount of stuff we would have to go over to do the catch-up segment is huge and kind of a giant clusterfuck, and we've already done it with each other, what say we just go ahead and hop right into this week's topic?
Yeah, let me just hop into my rocket-powered race car.
Okay. So, Chris, do you want to do me the favor of explaining what the hell The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension is exactly for our audience? Because this was one of your picks.
Yes, this is one of my picks. It is one of my favorite movies. And pretty much it's what it says on the tin. It's The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, and it involves the 8th dimension. I mean, I don't understand what's so
I don't think it's across the 8th dimension, though. It's more like in and around the 8th dimension.
No, he goes across it.
For like 10 seconds. And the movie's like an hour and a half long.
Okay, in more serious terms, Buckaroo Banzai is the story of the eponymous Buckaroo Banzai and his Hong Kong Cavaliers. Basically, Buckaroo Banzai is a neurosurgeon, a race car driver, a prominent adventurer, a mixed martial artist. What else is he? There's something else I'm missing.
Isn't he a master swordsman?
Yeah, he's a master swordsman. He's also just a preeminent scientist in a general sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy. All of his friends are also kind of up there too, because they're also like his pit crew, but they're also all doctors in their own right, and they go on some wacky adventures involving alien Jamaicans, alien Italians, ships that leak milk, a president that is
that is an insulating fluid.
It looks like milk. And a identical twin to Buckaroo Banzai's currently deceased wife.
I like how you say currently.
Motherfucker, you know damn well that is a plot element that in any other serialized thing, like the wife would come back and she'd be like, "Oh my god."
This is like a fucking... Okay, there's even a reference to there being in-universe Buckaroo Banzai comics. This is a comic book universe, people, okay? So I would not doubt that death is also a prolonged nap here, like it is in the Marvel and DC universes.
So some other characters that are pretty important are Handsome Tom, if I remember right.
Perfect Tom.
Jeff Goldblum is in it. He plays
Jeff Goldblum.
Basically,
he's just Jeff Goldblum before Jeff Goldblum got famous.
But he's also in a stereotypical Western cowboy outfit.
He literally looks like he stepped off the set of Howdy Doody.
Yeah. Also, one of the members of the Hong Kong Cavaliers wears a full suit, but those little fucking Japanese shoes that have the toe split.
Are you talking about Reno?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he's also wearing 2 belts.
Yeah, motherfucker. No joke. If I was rich, my fashion sense would be a mix between this and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Goddamn right.
Like, motherfucker.
Okay,
I want to be the guy confident enough to wear a cabbie hat, a suit, skinny tie, 2 belts, and fucking Japanese-ass shoes.
Yeah, okay, so I feel like we've primed this movie enough now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lay my cards on the table. I was baffled and fascinated by this the first time through, but after a few subsequent viewings, hey, thank you, Hiatus, for giving me time to really familiarize myself with this. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm in love with this movie, and given a bit more time, it may actually become one of my favorite films.
Oh, dude, it gets to all the weird itches you want.
Mm-hmm. This is like every little kooky, insane thing I love about the 80s. And the 80s is my favorite decade, and I've been saying that since I was like 13 fucking years old, even though I was born in the 90s and grew up in the 2000s. But I love the sound and feel of the 80s, the more fun parts of the 80s, the Dark Knight Returns fuck you-y parts about the 80s aren't exactly my jam, but they can exist, they're fine. I like the more fun stuff like this and the Transformers the movie. Yeah. And fucking Tron.
But yeah, Buckaroo Banzai, it's one of those like very, very iconic kind of things. In fact, there was a review, I'd say review, but it was a video essay about Buckaroo Banzai by Kyle Calgren.
I watched that shortly after my first viewing.
He just gave it the perfect way of describing it. It is a movie within a comic book universe where you have no idea of the original universe because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, this is like jumping into the 3rd or 4th James Bond or like Harry Potter movie without any knowledge whatsoever of the first few movies. Like
not even like any knowledge that they existed.
Yeah, you don't even know that this is a thing that exists and people like. And like I said on the last episode when this came up, I was like, oh, I've heard legends about this movie. And that's literally it. I've heard people bring up this movie and be like, this movie is fucking insane. Everybody has to watch it at least once. But I knew next to nothing about it. I'd watched like one review on it, but that was like late at night once, and most of that knowledge had faded out of my mind. And I was like, I'm going to go back and watch that review after I've actually watched this movie. And like so much of it came flooding back to me as I was watching the movie.
Oh, yeah. But like I was saying, Kyle just like, yeah, what was I about to say? Hold on. But it'd be like
words.
It'd be like watching the Avengers, having no idea what a superhero was.
Yeah.
Having no idea what superhero was, with no idea what Marvel is, no idea that there were previous movies. You just see Avengers, and that's it. And there's no sequels. There's nothing else.
And it's funny. People keep, like in the special features and the videos I've found on this movie, people keep comparing Buckaroo Banzai to like a superhero, or like I even compared him to a James Bond type. In my opinion, he's not like, he and his friends aren't like those kind of things. This is like watching a movie about a group of YouTubers going on a sci-fi adventure before YouTube existed.
Yeah, they do have that kind of personality. You know what? I want to say this and pitch it to you right now. One day we need to make a Buckaroo Banzai-esque film.
Yes, hell yeah! If we get
Ashen?
like 4 or 5 more guys in on our shit, we should do that.
Have you seen Ashen's in the Game Child?
I watched that once. It's been quite a while, but yeah, it does have like a similar feel to this, though it's not quite as crazy and not giving a fuck whether you're watching or not.
Yeah.
As this is.
But like,
and that's a great comparison. I heard somebody make in one of the videos I watched about this movie. Is somebody said, not only does this movie not care if you're watching or not, it doesn't care if you get up and go make a sandwich and come back.
Oh yeah, no. This is very much a movie for the nerds who want to invest energy into something.
Yeah. Like, there's just so much crazy, obscure shit and knowledge of this thing that you can learn. One of the... Because there's 2 commentaries on the Blu-ray I have. One of them is the director and the writer is in character as Reno the whole time, because Reno is his self-insert character, and Reno is the canonical chronicler of Buckaroo Banzai within the universe. So he asks him several times in that commentary how accurate they got things, and like there's one point right at the beginning where he's like, how accurate is Peter Weller to how Buckaroo Banzai actually works? And the writer, whose name I forget, I'm just gonna call him Reno. Reno is just like, well, he's got like similar hair, and he keeps like clicking his tongue, and he's got the same eyes, but that's about it.
God.
And if you watch this, and there's actually a reason for him saying that, because if you watch the special features on this specific Blu-ray I have, because they made new special features for this, this is the Shout Select Collector's Edition. There's like an hour and a half long, as long as the movie, series of interviews on the production of this film from almost the entire cast and crew. They talk about casting Buckaroo, and apparently their first pick was Tom Hanks, who has the same color eyes as Peter Weller. And the only reason they didn't get Tom Hanks is because Tom Hanks' manager at the time would not let them talk to him, because his manager was convinced that Tom Hanks would only ever be a TV actor.
Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. You know what? Peter Weller does really good for the role, though.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great stoicism for the role that just, like, fits so well.
It's so amazing because he's so just nonchalant about fucking everything. It's like, this performance is the epitome of another day at the office.
Oh yeah, like some of my favorite moments are those where he's walking through a hall, a file cabinet's on fire, and he just like lifts up his leg and pushes it in.
Yeah. Someone will put it out later.
Yeah. Or he's talking to the elder scientist, and he's going like, what's going on? And he just he has like a code on his hand that lets him see what the alien really looks like. He just looks at his hand, he licks it twice, and just smacks the guy's forehead.
I know.
It's like, oh shit, that's an alien.
Oh, and the best one, right at the end of the film, he's getting into his tour bus for his band, Buckaroo Banzai and the Hong Kong Cavaliers, which the upstairs is called World Watch 1, and is like a big computer bank with operators and shit, keeping Buckaroo acquired of situations in the world he needs to go in and save the day on. And he walks through there to his private bedroom, which is at the back of World Watch 1, and some guy who's operating a computer turns to him and goes, "Hey, Buckaroo, I'm on the line with the president. He needs to know if everything is okay with the aliens or we should just go ahead and destroy Russia." He's like, tell him yes to the first, no to the second. And he's like, and the stupid guy at the computer is like, which was which? And he just walks away.
Banzai has no time for your petty trillials. Like, I kind of, like, part of me would love to see more Buckaroo Banzai, but also part of me just goes like, no more Buckaroo.
No, okay. There's a lot of talk in the special features about, like, oh, we wanted to get a sequel made for years, and we tried to even do a TV show at one point, and, hey, if you know your Buckaroo Banzai, Kevin Smith was actually confirmed to be making a new TV show at one point, and then it fell through. The first season would have been a remake of this movie, and the second season would have been the movie they advertised at the end of this movie, Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League. I'm going to definitively say there should never be any more Buckaroo Banzai, because the thing that makes this movie so great is that it is just this thing existing out in a nebulous void.
There should be spiritual sequels to Buckaroo Banzai.
That could be okay.
Because the spirit of the spirit of this movie is so unique and so special that you could never 100% recreate it, but there's something there that I think a lot of people just would love to have more of.
Well, this is such an 80s thing, right? And that's like almost 90% of the charm for me, at least. Is just the way people are dressing and the sound of things. The soundtrack in this movie, never been released, but is fucking incredible. I could listen to that end credits song all day long.
Oh fuck yeah! Do do do
do do do do do. It's so good, and they're just walking around in L.A. River Basin, and apparently because they didn't have the song finished at the time, the actual music they were listening to on that day of shooting is Uptown Girl.
Uptown Girl. Oh, yes. Dude, that has the right fucking rhythm. Uptown Girl. Do 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 do. Oh man, but no, like you said earlier, it has a kind of a YouTube-y vibe. I think take some.
I know this is okay. I know this is kind of taboo to say now, but or like this name is just taboo to bring up, but I would almost say this is like a good That Guy with the Glasses anniversary movie, but without That Guy with the Glasses previously existing.
This is what That Guy with the Glasses was aiming for. They may not have known it, but this is what they were aiming for.
Because aside from Kyle, I don't think I've ever seen anybody who is or has ever been on That Guy with the Glasses bring up this movie.
But like, tone it down at like a million degrees, and this also has kind of like a Casey Neistat vibe.
Kinda.
Take out the wackiness, and you just have Casey Neistat, his group of friends. They go and do the shit they want to do, and they do it in the way they are. But they have their own personality, and Like, I'm not saying Casey Neistat is Buckaroo Banzai. I'm just saying that's kind of the feel of Buckaroo. It's very much a group of guys, group of people who are really good at their shit, just doing cool shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the mission statement of 368, so.
Yeah, like, honestly, if we ever make our own bullshit like that, that's what we're basing it off of. It's going to be one part Casey Neistat, 368, one part Buckaroo Banzai, one part Hoonigan, which I've shown you Hoonigan. I just love their channel.
You know, if I could get the body for it, I would love for us to do, like, a duo cosplay of, like, either or me as Buckaroo Banzai and you as Perfect Tommy, or me as Perfect Tommy and you as Buckaroo Banzai. Oh, like, man. And just walk around a convention and see who figures it out.
I'd be so down to fucking dye my hair, bleach my hair to be Tommy.
Yeah.
Because that also has one of my favorite lines in the movie. It's like, Buckaroo's looking at him and goes like, hey, give me your jacket. Why? Because we need to get her warm. Yeah, but why me? Because you're perfect. Yeah, you're right.
You have a point. That was improv by Peter Weller, by the way.
That's fucking...
Tommy wasn't even supposed to be in that scene. They were just like, it feels weird just being Buckaroo and her. let's put someone else in the scene. Oh, hey, guy who's playing Tommy, you're on the set today. Get in the shot. And then Peter Weller was apparently annoyed that they had changed the scene that way, so he's like, I'm gonna fuck with him and do this.
That's such a fucking great moment, though. Because you know damn well that's like conversations those two characters would have had multiple times.
Yeah. Like, I could almost picture that being like a running joke between them.
Yeah, like
every movie have the moment of Perfect Tommy complaining about having to do something and somebody just going like,
but you're
well,
perfect.
You have to do it. You're perfect.
It's like, fuck yeah, you're right.
And we haven't even brought up my favorite Hong Kong Cavalier, fucking Rawhide, Clancy Brown, before Clancy Brown was typecast as villains.
And fucking Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, he's here just as one of the most cool, nonchalant best friend characters I've ever seen.
Fucking Rawhide.
Because that's canonical, is Rawhide is Buckaroo's best friend since childhood. He was the first Hong Kong Cavalier.
Yeah. Too bad more people remember Perfect Tommy.
Well,
but he's perfect.
Well, he has a more distinct look, and also he didn't die.
Yeah. Fucking Rawhide. Always in our hearts.
Always in our hearts.
Always in our hearts. Goddamn.
The greatest joy is the joy of duty.
There's too much to talk about in this movie.
We haven't even gotten on to the fucking villains yet.
We
haven't brought up the Electroids at all. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah, motherfucker. Okay, the bad guy and the semi-technical neutral party, but it's acting kind of as a good guy, kind of as a bad guy, depending on the scene and how you look at it, are two alien species called the Lectroids. The red Lectroids, who are bad, and the black Lectroids, which are the neutral kind of party.
We'll help you out, but also if this shit goes south, we're gonna destroy the whole fucking planet so the red Electroids can't get to us.
Yeah. Basically, they had a war long time ago, and they sent the red Lectroids to the 8th dimension.
Mm-hmm. Which is basically the Phantom Zone, and the red Electroids are basically space Nazis.
Space fascists, because they are more associated with Italy than Germany.
True.
Because
they're really incompetent space Nazis.
Which is so fucking great.
Yeah.
They're so incompetent, their form of torture is covering a person in honey and just dropping ants on them.
Yeah. Oh my god. I swear, we were talking about this before we recorded, but my favorite scene in this movie is when John Warfram is trying to give a rousing speech to his troops, and the whole time they're just yeah, we know. He keeps trying to say shit to get them hyped up, and it'll cut back to them, and they'll half-heartedly raise their fist while also working on stuff, and they'll be yeah. The exact quote at the end of the speech is, "Where are we going? Planet 10. Where are we going? Real soon." It's so good. That's something right out of the Tick.
This is such a it is simultaneously such a warm, loving letter to these kind of stories, but is also such a giant fucking piss take on them that it's impossible to discern whether that was them just making fun of incompetent bad guys or just making their bad guys incompetent. But let's continue with the things. So there's the red Lectroids, but the black Lectroids are the ones that are trying to help everything. And we follow specifically one black Lectroid. I don't remember what his
John
name.
O'Connor, I think.
John.
No, it's John Parker.
John Parker.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, all the black Lectroids are Jamaican.
Mm-hmm. And they just have stereotypical Jamaican voices, and the one we see that looks human... Well, no, we see two that look human, but John Parker has, giant dreadlocks and a Rastafarian mustache.
And
it's okay, either this is meant really meant to, just force home the fascist comparison with the red electroids? Because look, they're trying to kill black people, or you guys did a real racist stereotype thing without realizing it.
I don't even think it was that. I just think they were going like, oh, if they look human, they gotta have a little bit more human characteristics. What's the place they're gonna base it on? Okay, well, let's just do some place that never really gets done like that. Like Jamaica. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's just make them Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was much more like that than it is like... Because... Well, yeah, by the way, we didn't mention this. All the aliens' names are John.
Oh yeah, they're all John. There's literally a joke where they're looking for the lists of the registered identities of all the employees that are aliens working for this company. They made this company, and it's like John. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, one of the best ones though. John Big Booty.
Big Booty, where is my overthruster?
Booty! Big Booty! Who is played by Christopher Lloyd. And fun fact that I don't know if your DVD or your Blu-ray.
By the way, Christopher Lloyd, a year before Back to the Future.
Oh, better than that, Christopher Lloyd in his audition movie for Back to the Future. Buckaroo Banzai is the reason he got casted as Dr. Emmett Brown.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Because they were going to cast the guy who played the Italian Electroid.
John... Oh, that's John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. They were going to cast John Lithgow as Dr. Emmett Brown, but he was busy and he didn't, and he couldn't do it. But he told Robert Zemeckis, "Hey, yo, I just did this movie with this other guy, and he was fucking dope, and he'll be great in this role. Check out Christopher Lloyd." And he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And the rest is history.
Nice.
So Buckaroo Banzai is partially to blame for the greatness of Back to the Future.
Very clean indeed, my sir.
Like, that's just like, it just makes Buckaroo Banzai, it's such a good movie.
It's like, this is the epitome of the phrase, it's a rich tapestry. Every thread you pull on it goes somewhere.
It deserves all the love, all of the attention. Mm-hmm. It should be at midnight screenings all over the country, 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah, this shit should be Rocky Horror Picture Showed.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, it should be right up there.
Yeah. Just another little thing to throw out about the Electroids. All the spaceships, really fucking weird looking. The reason for that is because they wanted to make the ships really unique looking, so they made them all like amalgamations of different types of seashells and coral.
That's fucking great. Like, why not? Because they basically went and looked at the entire landscape of sci-fi and adventure stories and just went, all right, let's go back to the drawing board of classic like pulp heroes like Doc Savage and Sherlock Holmes, and let's imagine a world where it went a completely different direction, and this is where we ended up instead of superheroes and Star Trek, we did, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, it's just such an interesting world to live in for an hour and a half, because, like, just the level of fame Buckaroo Banzai has surrounding himself. Like, it's a guy whose actual legal fucking name is Buckaroo Banzai.
Like,
and people just call him Buckaroo like it's nothing. Like, it's just literally another day at the office. And people who don't regularly hang out with him, and even some of his like Blue Blaze Irregulars and Hong Kong Cavaliers.
We never explained the Blue Blaze Irregulars.
I think it's just like Hong Kong Cavaliers who aren't there all the time?
No, Blue Blazer Regulars is a group of civilians who are all around the country and just gather information for Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like the homeless brigade of Sherlock Holmes.
I see. All right. Well, anyways, but everyone treats him like he's Optimus goddamn Prime. Everybody,
what do you mean? He is Optimus fucking Prime.
And everybody is just like, oh, it's Buckaroo Banzai. It's whoa, Buckaroo Banzai is here. Buckaroo Banzai, can I get a picture with you? It's like Elvis is in town, but Elvis is also Batman, and Batman is also fucking Captain Kirk, and literally every fictional and non-fictional cool guy you can imagine. And again, Peter Weller plays it like just another day at the office.
Which is like
he doesn't even indulge in the fame or even really entertain it that much unless it's in service of saving the world. Which is how you know he's a really good guy.
Yeah, man. Like, I would love to live in the world where Buckaroo Banzai was like a long-term lasting franchise. Just to see the...
Imagine the world where we have a Buckaroo Banzai movie every couple of years instead of a James Bond movie every couple of years.
Oh, imagine the Buckaroo Banzai cinematic universe.
There's a Rawhide movie and a Perfect Tommy movie.
Oh, motherfucker! I can see the trailer for the Perfect Tommy movie.
It's literally just the Shawn Michaels theme over footage from this movie.
Motherfucker, if you don't edit at least like a 5-second version for that, for the podcast,
I legitimately have no idea what the hell the intro to this episode is gonna be. I'm gonna have to pull something spectacular out of my ass tomorrow.
No, you know what you do? You know what you do? You just show the clip of the watermelon.
You know what? You're right. I have to do that because we until now we hadn't even brought up the watermelon. Do you know why the watermelon is there outside of the universe, by the way?
No.
Because on the special features, they give both the canonical and the out-of-universe explanation.
Never give me the canonical reason.
Okay.
Fuck that noise. It is just a watermelon. It is just there.
The out-of-universe reason is... okay, so you know about the glasses thing, right? With the studio?
Yeah.
Well... The studio was doing all kinds of fucky shit, like saying, oh, don't have Buckaroo Banzai wear those glasses in any more scenes. He looks like a fag. Literally something an executive said. Don't do this, don't do that. This movie is weird. You need to tone it down, bring it back, explain more shit. Basically trying to castrate this movie. And at one point, they just got in a big fight with the producers, and the producers were just like, fine, do whatever you want. And so... to make sure that they could do whatever they want, they started putting weird shit in like the foreground and background of sets to see if the producers would watch the dailies and ask why is that there. So like one day, B.D. Richter, the director, was literally just driving the set and he sees like a roadside stand for fruit and he's like, I'm gonna buy a couple watermelons and just put them in a scene, see what happens. And nobody said anything when the dailies went to the studio, so they figured, okay, we can literally do whatever we want now.
That's how I want to make movies.
Yes.
That's how I want to make fucking movies. It's that fucking attitude. It's like, fuck you, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. The more and more I learn about Buckaroo Banzai, the more and more I watch, the more and more I just everything. It's just the more I just love this movie.
Yeah. Another bit of trivia: did you know the flux capacitor or the oscillation overthruster? It's easy to get those two things mixed up. Don't get mad at me in the comments. The oscillation overthruster has appeared in Star Trek like 8 times.
You know, there's been references to the multitude of Johns in Star Trek, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't remember which version of Star Trek, but there was a thing where on the screen it said John, 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 John. That's like the
Well,
easiest little Easter egg you can do. It's like list of names, like 15,000 Johns.
the thing is, like, I told you about the one commentary on this movie. The other commentary is from two of the earliest, like, super fans of this movie, who were prop designers on Star Trek, and at one point they worked with and befriended the prop master on this movie, who gave them the mold for the oscillation overthruster.
Oh.
And so they were like, we're just going to sneak this thing in as often as we can. And there was even one instance, I don't remember if they said what episode it was, but there's some episode of TNG that Peter Weller guest starred in. And they went up to LeVar Burton and were like, hey, LeVar, have you ever heard of Buckaroo Banzai? He's like, yeah, I love that movie. I'm so excited we're working with Peter Weller right now. And they're like, here, this is the oscillation overthruster. This is a replica made by using the actual mold they used to make the prop for the movie. You can have this, but only if you get Peter to use it in a scene. And he fucking did it.
Oh my god.
And there's also,
I would imagine that wouldn't be hard. It's just like, hey, Peter, you want to do this cool reference? It's like, fuck yeah.
And the best thing is, like, everybody who worked on this movie is super into this movie. Even Peter Weller, who on the new interviews I told you about, he's like, yeah, I literally have no idea what the hell this movie is about or what is going on in it. All I know is what I said and did in it. But I'm happy people love it.
That's a fine attitude to take. I'm glad, like, as long as you don't hate it, that's good.
Mm-hmm. But like John Lithgow and fucking Clancy Brown, they love this movie. They're like, we would come back and do the sequel tomorrow.
Again, part of me wants to see that. Part of me never wants to see it.
Because, you know, the base plan they had for Against the World Crime League was, because there's a deleted scene from an earlier cut of the movie where Penny Pretty calls John Wolfram Hanoi Shan because it was going to be revealed that Emilio Lizardo is the long-lost twin brother of Hanoi Shan, the guy who killed Buckaroo Banzai's parents and wife, and is in charge of the World Crime League. And it would be John Lithgow in yellowface.
Oh! Ooh! Ooh!
Yeah.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Ooh!
That's how crazy they were gonna go.
Yeah! Kinda glad it didn't happen now.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, but no jokes, this is the inspiration for, this is going to be a major inspiration for 90% of the films I'm going to be making.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it's
like,
probably going to be an influence on some of the video essays I make.
Like, if we were to do, like, like a storyline canonical thing for Analytical Fanboys, this is the kind of attitude and feel I would want it to have, of just, like, this nonchalant team-up series.
Nothing should be taken seriously, but all the stakes are real.
Mm-hmm. It's like an old-school parody. The situation is completely insane and outlandish, but everybody plays it straight.
It's Airplane.
Yeah, it's Airplane, but it's a sci-fi movie instead of a parody.
There's so much. The fucking van. The fucking rocket fucking car.
The rocket car. Oh, unfortunately,
that is one of the most iconic film vehicles ever. It should go right up there with the DeLorean. Because
the movie was not super popular when it was released, unfortunately the original ones were destroyed. But I really feel like at every sci-fi convention, because there's always like a DeLorean and a Batmobile, or like a couple Batmobiles, or this or that and the other thing. I feel like at every sci-fi convention there should be, if not both, either a rocket car or a Buckaroo Banzai tour bus.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to build a rocket car.
Yeah. That's like, That's like one of those, you know how Tested has like those ongoing build series? That would be what we would do in that kind of style.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Like, it simultaneously doesn't get enough love, but it also has just enough love to be worth it for Buckaroo.
Uh-huh.
Like, I want to tell everybody about this movie, but I don't need to.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where it's just like this nice little gem you have in your pocket, and every once in a while when you find someone special, you can take it out and go like, hey, check this shit out.
Like I did for you.
Yes. Thank you very much, by the way. Because I was going to watch this movie eventually, but it would have been like another 4 or 5 years had you not put it on the list.
Oh, yeah. But there's so much good about this movie. Buckaroo just borrowing a motorcycle.
He gets on it, and the guy for like a half second is like, hey, you can't take that. Oh, Buckaroo Banzai! Go ahead!
Yeah, like, this is so fucking great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, what was the line read? Stop evil electroids.
Oh, he's saying something like, look, there they are. You see those three? What three? What about them? And then he just points and shouts bloody murder. There! Evil! Pure and simple for the 8th dimension! Get them! And then they just get up and run.
I love that line read. It's so good. Oh, like I want to make a movie purely so I can get to a point where I can tell someone, this is how I want you to read this line. Like you are convinced, like you are accusing people of being interdimensional criminals and you are trying to capture them.
Yes.
But your face cannot show any emotion. Because that's what the scene looks like. He is pointing and shouting bloody murder, but it looks like he just spilled his coffee.
God bless Peter Weller.
Oh, man. What's the more iconic role, RoboCop or Buckaroo Banzai?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna speak in realistic terms, it's RoboCop. But like, I haven't seen RoboCop, so for me, it's Buckaroo fucking Banzai.
Dude, you know what? I just thought a thought popped in my head. This is very much like an American Toku.
It is, like minus the transforming and actually like karate fighting people.
But no. Think about like Robot Detective K.
I haven't seen Robot Detective K.
Well, fuck you.
I will later. I can't exactly do it on the podcast.
It's old school show.
I know of Robot Detective K. I've just never actually watched it.
But like, okay. One day, making a series is going to be one part Buckaroo Banzai, one part just random shit, with a good, heavy dose of tokusatsu.
Yeah.
That's
the fucking plan, bro. That is our life goal and mission statement with this channel, is to get it popular enough that we could move in together and be buddy buds who make videos all the time, and crazy shit like this comes out of it.
Motherfucker, I'm making a makerspace. I'm just doing it. It doesn't matter. I'm doing it anyway.
Well, the first step is making this channel. The second step is us being in the same place together. The third step is getting to the maker studio.
Makerspace.
Makerspace.
Use the right words, man.
Yeah. Words have meaning, guys. You can't say literally when you mean metaphorically.
Literally has been used for figuratively since the fucking 1700s. Like, that's a legit thing.
Yeah.
You know
Captain Logan, we're calling you out.
You know what? I just really want this movie to be a little bit more popular, just so I can get, like, an SH figure arts of Buckaroo Banzai.
You'd have to get this movie a lot more popular before that would happen.
Oh yeah, I know. But
right now, I think the best you could hope for with the current popularity statement of this movie is like a reaction figure, if those are even still a thing.
But like, imagine a Buckaroo Banzai fucking figure.
Oh, dude, I would.
With an N-scale rocket car.
The thing is, though, like, if you're gonna do Buckaroo Banzai, I feel like you have to do all the Hong Kong Cavaliers, like, give me the entire band, and make them all come with their instruments, so I can have that display.
Oh, with the, And we need to have the three main red Lectroids.
Yeah. We need, John Morpham, John Big Boutte, and, what's the other one?
John.
Yeah, we need John.
You know what part of me believes?
What?
You can probably disprove it because you've watched all the bonus features. That in the script they were writing all the names for the aliens, and they just want to just call them all John for right now, and then we can come back and give them names. But by the end they went like, oh no, that's really cool, like weird alien thing, and it makes sense. Let's just keep them John.
I know they discussed that. I don't remember if it was that or something else, though. I'd have to go back and rewatch the bonus features.
But that seems like something a lazy writer would do and then just keep.
I know John Big Booty Big Boutte wasn't Big Boutte originally in like the first couple drafts. They just changed it to that later on because they thought it was funny. Like, they saw that name somewhere, and they were like, we could get a lot of mileage out of that joke. Let's make one of the main guys John Big Boutte.
Big Booty. John Big Booty. Big Boutte. Big Boutte.
Shut up, John Big Booty! You're the weakest coward I've ever known!
God.
By the way, you want to know where that strange-ass Italian accent John Lithgow has for the movie came from?
His ass?
No. His tailor, he had his tailor at MGM record all of his dialogue on tape, and then he would just listen to that for hours on end and try and mimic the guy's accent as close as possible, because he was like a first-generation old man Italian immigrant.
So he was actually accurately portraying an accent. It's just a weird, god-awful, shitty accent.
He was trying to.
Oh, God.
They don't have, nobody has the tape. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I probably threw it out years ago. So I'm pretty sure if he could have found it, they would have put it on the bonus features. But there's no way to know how close he actually got.
God. The big Buckaroo Banzai is the definition of a cult movie.
It is. It really is. It's the first one. It's the first cult movie I've seen that's called a cult movie, and I really feel like it because it's like I never saw anyone really bring this movie up except for that one video I mentioned earlier before this, and like those people never talked about that movie since then. And like I feel like this is a movie that you don't really talk about unless you set out to talk about it. It's just kind of like a movie that if you know, you know, and if you don't, hey, you don't.
It's one of those movies where you say a line from the movie in a conversation, and you expect, no one's going to get it. I'll just say it because that's kind of a funny line. And then someone else will say a different line from Buckaroo, and then you go,
"You're my best friend now."
Well, okay, we're talking about Buckaroo? Yeah, we're talking about Buckaroo now. Okay, cool. Yeah. and then they just break off immediately into another conversation. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You're just talking about Buckaroo Banzai now.
Oh yeah.
Like, my God, it is such a. It is much. And I can also say it's like definition of a cult movie. Because like a cult, it speaks to your soul and grabs you, and it will never let you go.
If you like it. It's either you get it and you're instantly in love with it, or you're not going to understand this thing at all, and you're going to be like, this is the weirdest fucking movie ever. No wonder nobody talks about it.
God.
It's crazy how much information there is out on this movie based on just the one thing, because with the people who saw it in its original run and it got popular with, they were so in love with it that there were actual Buckaroo fanzines back in the day, like campaigning for a sequel and doing like fan fiction and shit like that. And because of that, there are canonical names for every fucking member of the Hong Kong Cavaliers, even the ones that don't have speaking lines. Like, you know the guy in the scene in the club who's playing two saxes at the same time for, like, one shot?
Yeah.
That guy's called Rugsucker.
Fuck yeah. No, fuck yeah.
And he's in the later scenes, you just don't notice him if you aren't looking for him. Like, in the scenes when they're storming the Yo-Yo-Dine building, he's in the crowd of people wearing the vests and shit, and his actor, because they got him for the bonus features on this new edition, in the interview he says, for some reason I was the only one they gave a headlamp, so I would just be a little shit and try and shine that headlamp in the camera from the background sometimes.
God.
And they cut to like a couple shots where you can see it happening.
Oh, man. Just so much about this movie is just... It's partially heartwarming, and it just makes you go like, "Why? This should have been a bigger thing." But at the same time, you're kind of glad it wasn't, because then
it's special because it wasn't. Like if it was huge and it had like a shit ton of sequels, it'd be like, yeah, everybody knows about Buckaroo Banzai. It's this thing from back in the 80s. It's pretty cool.
Like Back to the Future is.
Yeah. But because it wasn't, and it's just this one-off thing, it's like, because it's just what feels like the second movie in a trilogy on its own, completely existing in a void, it makes it so special and interesting. And it's probably why there is so much information and extra canon shit out there on it.
You do, what was the thing I was going to say? Okay, you know how people say, oh, The Room, it's so bad it's good, and other movies like that?
Uh-huh.
Buckaroo Banzai is so good, it had to be bad. It's so good that only a few select people would, like, connect with it, and it was destined to fail.
So what you're trying to say is Buckaroo Banzai is too woke for this world.
It is too perfect. It is too perfect for this world. Motherfucker. We do have a spiritual sequel to Buckaroo Banzai.
How so?
Matt Hardy.
Continue.
Just broken Matt Hardy.
I mean, I guess, but it doesn't exactly have the same kind of tone and, like, variety of characters.
No.
Like, everyone in the Matt Hardy family is kind of along the same lines. They have their own unique gimmicks and shit, and they have their own role to play, but they're not like a completely different person who's just hanging out with Matt because they happen to be friends.
Yeah, but if Matt Hardy's Buckaroo, then the rest of the wrestling roster is his Hong Kong Cavaliers.
This really sounds like an insane video you're waiting to make.
It could. It could. I don't know. I need to make a Buckaroo... I think I have a Buckaroo Banzai video in my make video list.
Hey, I'd be down for it. I mean, like, we're approaching the hour mark, so I guess I'll go ahead and say, like, as I've kind of talked about throughout this whole thing, I absolutely love this. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the best thing you picked thus far. This is gonna be like a movie I will be eager to show my kids someday.
Oh, fuck yeah. But you can't show them when they're, like, little. They have to be mature enough to understand.
No. This isn't like a age 2 to 5 movie. This is like an age 10 to 13 movie.
No, this is a movie when they're 16 and go like, all right, you're about to become a little bit more mature, a little bit more responsible. But before we do that, there's a movie that is a major part of me that I want to share with you before we begin this journey of your next step of who you are as a person. Put on Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes. See, I was about to make the joke. It's called Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
I am standing under the robot's testicles.
Because, for me, that movie does actually fit that description, because that's a highly nostalgic movie for me that I saw when I was a little too young to understand it was bad.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, I do have a Buckaroo Banzai video. It's Buckaroo Banzai in the similarities.
Don't spoil it. Just let it happen when it happens.
God. So many ideas.
I'm looking forward to that shit, man. But
it's not gonna be what you think it is.
I don't care. I want to see it. So go ahead and give me your final words on Buckaroo Banzai, since I've given mine now.
It is a movie not for everyone, but for the people it is for, it is probably one of the best movies.
Yeah.
It's is a movie of heart, of love, of care, of passion. But the passion and the love and the care is for some of the weirdest, most nerdy pop culture ephemera concepts in general. It is a love letter to the classic pulp heroes like Doc Savage and Sherlock Holmes. A love letter to contemporary pulp heroes like superheroes and James Bond. But also it is a knowing nod at them, pointing out a lot of the absurdities of it. And by pointing out the absurdities of it, it makes you love and appreciate those stories even more. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
There you fucking are, my dude. Oh, I want that on a bumper sticker.
That's just... Can we just, like, dissect that one thing for a moment?
Because, go for it.
Because this whole movie is it's a fun, lighthearted film, but that one line, no matter where you go, there you are, is so sincere. It's such... It's so simple. But there's so much weight and nuance that can be applied there. So much poetry in just those simple words that it can... Living by just those ideas, you can fundamentally change who you are, change your attitude on life, change anything about you, and it's great. And it's coming from a movie with Jamaican aliens and a spaceship that leaks milk. Like
it's an insulating fluid. Okay, get your facts right. God damn it. You were the one who suggested this movie. I thought you'd be the expert, but I'm coming in here with all this shit. I mean,
motherfucker,
goddamn.
The joke is that it looks like milk.
I know, but I'm trying. I'm doing a joke too. It's where I'm the snobby factual guy.
Yeah, and this movie is a direct middle finger to assholes like you who need to know all the information about the cinematic universes.
Fantastic.
I mean, think about it. Like, other than the... That's what the watermelon is. It's a middle finger to the producers going, like, none of this is making sense. Explain more shit. Like, no, you don't need to explain shit. People will understand.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is a direct point of view for, like, why Nick Fury makes sense. Because not everyone's going to understand why Nick Fury was in the end of Iron Man 1. But the people who do can tell them. The people that do can engage in a conversation and engage in actually looking at the media for what it is and expand it.
I mean, I was one of those people who literally at a midnight screening for the first Avengers movie, when that end credit scene with Thanos happened, my fucking older sister and her boyfriend turned to me and was like, "Who the fuck is that dude? Explain." And I was like, "Well, let me tell you about death."
That guy wants to fuck her.
Exactly. That's basically all you need to know, except I was wrong because the Russo brothers changed shit, but that's a different podcast. We're getting off topic now. So
that's a different podcast that we already made.
Yeah,
Link,
hey, go listen to that, people.
click the icon in the top right corner. I'm making you do a card.
Yeah, because I'll remember to put that in at the hour and 1 minute mark.
Giving you extra work because I don't
watch me not remember it anyway.
Because I don't edit this shit. He does.
Yeah, that's why we took the hiatus, because editing my own videos takes so much time.
Hey, at least you have videos to show.
Yeah. Hey, let's do some Q&A, shall we?
What 0 questions did we get this time?
We got 0 questions, because even though we were on a 2-month hiatus, the motherfuckers did not send questions to our
Did nobody
email.
send a question?
Nobody sent a question.
I fucking love Nobody.
Yeah, Nobody's such a great guy. But he did
I loved
send
it when
us
he
a
fought
link.
those Cyclopses.
Yeah.
Did you get the reference?
I didn't get the reference, but he sent us a link to randomquestiongenerator.com.
The joke I made was about Odysseus from the Odyssey.
Oh.
When he had to fight some Cyclopses.
Oh.
He fought a Cyclops.
Oh.
And the Cyclops was going like, "Who are you?" And Odysseus was like, "I'm nobody." So Odysseus like stabbed him in the eye, and the Cyclops were going like, "Ah, motherfucker!" And the other Cyclopses were going like, "Okay, dude, what happened?" "Nobody just stabbed me." "Nobody stabbed you? Then why stop fucking screaming?"
Alright. So, would you like to pick a number between 1 and 5?
3.14.
What is your favorite sandwich?
Ooh. If it's a hot sandwich, Philly cheesesteak. If it is a cold sandwich, toasted rye bread, mayonnaise, corned beef with provolone.
Nice. If I'm making a sandwich around the house, like to take to work for a lunch break or something like that, I'll usually do like a peanut butter and banana, just because that's a lot of protein, a lot of good stuff in your system right away that you need while you're going through a hard day at work. But if I'm ever in a sandwich shop, I almost always get the Italian. I just love Italian subs. Those are great.
Oh, you know what's a fucking great sub? A chicken strip sub from Publix.
That's like where you buy a loaf of bread and a thing of their chicken strips and you just make that a sandwich, right?
No, you ask for it and they do it for you.
Okay. So I heard that stuffing like that was a thing, but I've never tried it myself. I do like Publix chicken strips, though.
Oh, pub subs are great.
Oh
wait, people who may not be Floridians and not know what pub subs are.
I mean, there are Publixes in other parts of the world besides Florida.
No. It's a pretty regional thing to Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a Publix here in South Carolina.
Yeah, but also South Carolina is like really close to Florida.
Fair enough.
Once you get like, you're about near where they may start, where they start being dropped off and start being Piggly Wigglies.
It's mostly like Bilos and Ingles around here.
Yeah, Bilos, Ingles, Piggly Wigglies. I think that's more of a direct south, like Georgia, Alabama,
I actually haven't
Louisiana.
seen a single Piggly Wiggly here, but we do have a couple Aldis.
Yeah. But yeah, Publix is a Florida thing.
Cool. I did not know that.
Like Winn-Dixie.
I knew Kroger was a thing I had when I lived in Alabama and Georgia as a kid, but did not have when I moved to Florida.
At least I'm pretty sure. Publix may have expanded in the past few years.
Yeah. Tune in to the next exciting episode of Analytical Fanboys, where we discuss the regionality of coffee shops. Anyways, let's go ahead and select our next topic. If I can get my fucking screen share to work. Come on. There we go. Hey, look at that. It's a list of things we made.
Areas served: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. Yep, it's pretty much just the South.
Cool.
But it started in Florida, so that's why most of them are in Florida.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, the next episode of the podcast will be on Transformers Prime Season 1. One of my suggestions. Yeah, so I'm a big Transformers fan, and Prime is literally my favorite incarnation of the cartoons. I have the whole series on DVD. I've watched it multiple times. Watched it when it originally aired, because I was one of the few people who actually had the hub when it was a thing. And it's a great, really competent show. And just the first 5 episodes, in my honest opinion, are what the first live-action movie should have been.
It also has The Rock in one episode.
It does. He's in the pilot for like 10 seconds because he plays Cliffjumper, who gets shot in like the first scene of the first episode.
Because that's all they could afford him.
Mm-hmm. And then he comes back in a later season, but he's a sound-alike. Anyways, so yeah.
Are your nostrils picking up the thing that I'm putting down?
That'll probably take us like a week and a half to watch. So we'll probably see you guys in another 2 weeks for an episode of Analytical Fanboys. Maybe we'll do a 0.5 in between then. I don't know what exactly it could be on. Maybe I'm actually bullshitting and we have an actual 0.5 planned. Who knows? We'll see you when we see it, guys. But thanks once again for tuning in. I gotta turn off my screen share before I can go into the ending spiel. If you enjoyed this episode of Analytical Fanboys and you want to hear more, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the link in the video description to download MP3s of the show and listen to it on the go. If you have any sort of questions or ideas for topics for us, go ahead and email us at analyticalfanboys@gmail.com. Make sure you mark the email question for Q&A segment or topic submission okay to read on air. If you want to follow either of us, hey, we're YouTube boys. We have YouTube channels. I am The Vacuuminator. You can subscribe to me at youtube.com/TheVacuuminator. I do general tokusatsu analysis stuff with a budding storyline hinted in there at times. Chris, what are you on the YouTubes?
I am Boingo Writer. I do video editorial essay bullshit where I talk about things I like and things I saw in the things I liked. Examples.
So he's your basic YouTube bitch.
Motherfucker, fuck you.
I'm just pulling your leg. You're like the deluxe YouTube bitch.
Motherfucker.
I'm sorry. It's 1 a.m. I'm getting into a bit of a dickish mood because I'm tired.
But, like, I have a video on Kamen Rider X-Aid, a video on Jobby the Hong, a video on Vangelis, a video on Thew. Yeah.
Name recognition.
Name recognition. You know these names. Click on their names. No.
That's literally what you did.
Yeah, but, like, that was, like...
But they're also good videos. Hey, I found them for the Few video, and it's pretty dope.
That's like reason 5 why I made them. The first like 4 were like I like the person, I have ideas I want to talk about, and I want to talk about the video, and I want to make a video.
Yeah.
But if you go onto my channel and see like, oh, he hasn't uploaded a video in 9 months, the reason why is I am trying to build up a little bit of a backlog so that doesn't happen again. So I'm building up some videos for people to watch. I've shown one of them to you, and you liked it.
I liked it very much. It's a good video. So yeah, watch it when it comes out. I'm not going to tell you what it's called or what it's about, but just watch it when it comes out. You know where to find it. It's at
Boingo Writer.
Yeah, and hey, if you want to interact with us, talk with us, see how our days and lives and random opinions on shit are going, we both have Twitters. You can follow me at The Vacuuminator, and Chris is at Boingo_writer. And that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of Analytical Fanboys. Again, we hope you enjoyed listening, and we hope you're glad we're back, because we're glad to be back and stuff. We will see you on the next episode of Analytical Fanboys, where we will be discussing Transformers Prime Season 1. Until then, I'm Simeon.
I'm Perfect Chris.
That you are. And we will see you wherever you go. That's the best quote amalgamation I could do. Just fade out. Just fade out right now. Just go.
No matter where you go, here we are.
Yes, that's better. But they already faded out. Could you maybe come back so he could say no? We're in the dark now. The end screen is up. The episode's just gonna be over, and he's